These are two surface chips. We're going to reach for the Dremel, pointing out both surface chips. We'll touch down on the glass. Make sure that you have a good, steady hand on the glass while you pull your Dremel closer to the windshield. Pointing out the second surface chip, clamshell. We have to score the glass so that it will adhere to the resin when we put that on. These are what's called a surface chip, and they only need to be resurfaced, which is the second part of every repair, is resurfacing the glass, making it smooth and flush. Now that we've scored the glass, we'll grab the regular resin, dab some of that on the glass. This is going to seep into all the tiny fissures and fractures of the surface chip. You want to grab two patches, since we're working on two pits. Scrape in to the brake a little bit, the resin with the edge of the razor blade. This way you can draw in any of the liquid resin. Now we want to grab our pit resin, which is a thicker, higher viscosity resin, much like honey. And as we dab some of that onto the glass, we pull up the patch, placing that over the brake. You don't want to press down in the center because this will create it to be concave, and we don't want that. But we do want to press out any air bubbles that might be in there. Now that we've done this, we could let it cure by the sunshine, but we're going to use the ultraviolet light to cure this resin faster, thicker, and stronger. When I'm repairing a windshield, I often like to reflect on the glory of God, the grace and abundance that He's provided me in my life, and that's available there for you. Let's pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, for thine is the power and glory forever and ever. Amen. So, this is how my days go. Now that the resin has been solidified completely, we want to go ahead and grab the patches and take those off of the glass. We want to reuse those. They're cellophane, actually they're mylar, and we can save those for the next time around. Go ahead and spray this with some of the Clearview spray, scraping from the left to the right or from the top to the bottom. This is what I call cross-cutting. I believe it cuts faster and quicker, so you can get a smooth edge. And always cut with a 90 degree, not a 45. This way you keep the pit in place. Once it's been completely shaved off all of the excess resin, you'll just have the remaining surface pit, which is now plastic instead of glass. Spray a fish on your glass, wipe the whole thing down, and then we need to polish out the surface pits with some pit polish. I use a leather piece which works really well for polishing out and giving us a clear view on these two surface chips there. Now we're going to move on to another brake that is down low in the center of the windshield. This one is just a combination. Always put your mat down before you begin. We'll point out the brake right here. This one has a great deal of potential to crack, not only because it's glass, but it's down low, and it could crack out from the defrost. So what we want to do is tie that brake in and loop it around. I like to heat the brake because I think that I change the climate of the brake, so that when I go to tap with a probe and loop it around to true up the brake, then I can ensure that it will stay within that heated climate. On this one, it did flake out a little bit of glass. That tends to happen, but the simple solution is making sure that we use our Dremel to score. You want to have drill skills with this. That means that you've had a lot of time with a drill and you know how to handle it. After that, we've scored it well. We're going to get our bridge set up so that we can go ahead and inject the resin into the brake. I've looped around half of the brake. I know that there are fingers on the either side of it, but I can address those by flexing with the probe. Now that we have our bridge, we just back off the feet and add some resin into the tip. This is what I call bottom feeding, because I'm putting the resin in the bottom or the base of the injector seal instead of through the top. This expedites the process for me and my technicians. Then we flip the bridge around in such a manner that we can have a greater viewpoint of the brake. Zooming in, you get to see the injection process. Then we back down those 2 feet. We're going to tighten down the injection seal to the glass. Now we go for a couple of pressure points. Pressure in, siphon out, pressure in, siphon out. Once I've been satisfied with the amount of resin that is injected into the brake, then we're going to grab the UV light and allow it to cure, but not before testing each finger that would be protruding from the center of that brake with the probe. Your probe is your friend. You want to be able to explore the brake with the probe. So, now that I'm satisfied, we're going to use the UV light, begin to cure this brake. It should only take a few minutes to cure the brake. Notice on the side of my UV lamp there is dirt or dried resin fingerprints. A friend of mine, a franchisee of mine, actually gave me a great tip on how to clean the tools very well, and that is with something simple. Purell hand sanitizer. It cleans it wonderfully. In fact, I'll make a video where I show the cleaning process of the tools, how to maintain them so that they work well. Now that we've cured this, we want to back off the injector. That way it doesn't squirt any resin out. Go ahead and erase the lip of the cured resin. Then we're going to add more of the pit resin to the brake. Remember, just push out any air bubbles so that they don't get trapped into the brake. Now that that's been cured, lift the patch away, and we're going to spray it with the Clearview spray. This helps in the cutting process so it doesn't overheat the resin and have it pull away from the patch. After scraping all of the excess resin away, we dispose of that, put the tools away, the UV light away, and use our spray to make a cross. Bless the windshield, lift the wiper, and wipe the windshield down so that it's nice, clean, smooth, with a clear view. We're not done yet. We have to grab our pit polish and the leather patch to go ahead and polish out that pit. That is how you do a high quality windshield repair for Clearview. God bless, and ride on.